Fields of dry grass easily burning to black, and we are dying for lack of proper rain. A society not noticing need until it's too late, and summer's sweetness gone up in flame. Welcome back to the Izzy Lala Podcast. I'm Izzy Lala, and I'm a writer, artist, and poet from Sacramento, California. Growing up in the area I did in South Sacramento, we didn't have many outlets for expression. At an early age, I found my love for writing, however, and began to use the tool to express my emotions through free verse poetry and stories. It wasn't until much later, however, that I would find this expression to be therapeutic and would soon stand on a stage and read it aloud to an audience. This podcast is an extension of that and creates dialogue around poems and the personal and societal topics that surround them. Stay tuned as we go beyond the pen to explore the world with even more guests. This episode, I'll be reading a poem titled Will You Notice When It Catches? And this is a poem about depression and the effects of not recognizing it. Please note, however, that I'm not a professional and all of my insight is drawn from observation and or personal experiences. It spreads like wildfire. Depression deteriorates life fast, quick as cancer kills. Unseen, cureless sickness inhabiting our third eye makes its home in consciences while society sleeps in broad daylight, ignorant of signs of the times. They say depression is a gray day, cloudy momentarily, but my summer turned barren the year they took me, from warmth of home to shelter unknown. Mental illness separates us from stability, turns sky to ash, everything real we know to blaze, while they turn a blind eye to pain. Their backs to the downcast, whose summer glow has turned gloom. Depression hides behind dark eyes, open briefly, until it's too late, until it overtakes. Fields of dry grass easily burning to black, and we are dying for lack of proper rain. A society not noticing need until it's too late, and summer's sweetness gone up in flame. So how do you catch depression before it gets worse? Firstly, I think depression often goes unnoticed until something drastic occurs. People who have never experienced severe depression sometimes are unaware that it could be staring right at them and them not even know it. Unseen, cureless sickness inhabiting our third eye makes its home in consciences while society sleeps in broad daylight, ignorant of signs of the times. If you're not familiar with depression, you may be quick to brush it off as something minute, when really depression manifests itself in different forms. It could seem as subtle as someone being quiet or something as apparent as irrational behavior. When I was about 21, I became extremely depressed, and I remember that I would just become very quiet and didn't tell anyone about how I was feeling. I had one journal I would write in, but even then, I wouldn't even expose my own feelings to myself. I felt like no one would understand, and I didn't even understand. So I just let everyone think nothing was wrong with me, and maybe we all did, until there was something noticeably wrong with me. Fields of dry grass easily burning to black, and we are dying for lack of proper rain. A society not noticing need until it's too late, and summer's sweetness gone up in flame. Fields of dry grass refer to how quickly depression can spread in our bodies. How quietness can turn to long-term not being vocal, to not expressing that you are in fact depressed, to becoming even worse off, which could even result in hospitalization. Summer sweetness gone up in flame is basically the aftermath of not giving depression the attention it needs, of not catching it before it gets worse. So how do you catch depression before it gets worse? I think if you're depressed, you have to be honest with yourself. Open up and find someone you can trust and tell them what you are feeling. And if you know someone who is depressed, have empathy, lend an open ear and listen to them. You might just be what they need to begin healing. You might just be the rain they need to put out the fires burning in their spirit. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Izzy Lala Podcast. You can check out izzylala.com for more information about me. And don't forget to give this a like and follow me on Instagram under Izzy Lala for more podcast updates. You can also subscribe to this podcast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. For now, wishing you all healing, hope, and light.
thing you can't escape is the face in the mirror. You try not to look up what's behind those eyes.